Hey Zach, it's Nick.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good.
So right off the bat, who's inspired you to, compete in the MMA world?
I think it had to start with my dad. My dad was a wrestler, state champion in high school, and when I was younger, it was about eighth grade. He put me into wrestling. I started loving it. I found that I was competing really well, really quick. I have older brothers that kind of always chose me to be the one to pick on, and I didn't do anything about it until I actually did start doing the wrestling and getting into it a little bit. So I started with wrestling really.
Okay. Now, you just said you're into wrestling, and I looked up. It said you're a bit of a jiu-jitsu type of fighter. When did you begin, to start training in not just jiu-jitsu, but for like the MMA and everything?
I've actually only been training jiu-jitsu and MMA since January. So I called my coach and at Proving Ground one day, and I said, "Hey man, I want to be an MMA fighter." And he basically said, "Come on in," and we started with jiu-jitsu. And within a month, I did my first jiu-jitsu tournament and took gold. Then did two more, took gold there. Found that I was really liking it, really getting good at it. And then, as soon as coach believed I was ready, we started training MMA. So I'm about 8 months into my MMA training, and I've been trying to get into that. Obviously, I've been, had a few fights already. I've been trying to make my name out there. So
Yeah, no. So you sort of led me into my next question. You're new to the scene at 1-1. Describe the journey you've already taken to get to the spot you're at now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm 1-1. I know it's not 100% where I want to be, but I believe it's a great start. When I talk about my journey, I mean, I prepared for my first fight with Iron Boy. I got so excited, that I was getting in there for the first time, making my dreams come true. I've always been somebody who's watching the UFC, and that moment when you're walking down the stage and getting the Vaseline, that all was in my head. So I started chasing that goal, training hard every day. I am that guy who's at practice 7 days a week. I mean, even I need a rest day. Well, I just won't go so hard at practice. That's my rest day. So I started going every day. Me and my coach grew a good relationship. We went out there to that first fight. I believe I killed it. I mean, I had so much adrenaline, so much excitement when I got out there. The opponent that I had wasn't exactly, maybe it wasn't the time and place for him to be in there. He was an older guy. I was full of energy, ready to attack. And then now with this loss against Ridge, that was, such a learning experience. I had so much fun the entire time. Like, I believe that, I told myself this was an L for learn, not an L for loss. In my opinion, it was a good fight going out there with him. The first round was scrappy. That was my first time ever, being in the cage and actually getting hit back, because my first fight, I never got hit one time. So when I went out there with Ridge, I finally found out, am I a fighter or am I not? Because I took those hits and I realized I love it. I love what I'm doing. I went out there, I felt nothing. None of the punches had affected me until obviously that point where I was knocked out. There was not a lot I could do there, and that was I was definitely not happy with parts of my performance. My hands were down. I started to feel fatigue coming in, even though I trained hard on my cardio. I believe I need more time, constant rounds, actual sparring in the cage. I need more time of that and a little bit higher intensity, so that way when I go out there, I'm able to go all 3 rounds, full out. But it was a fun fight, man. I mean, I went in for a shot at the same time that he was throwing a kick. I know that the kick he was throwing wasn't intended for my head. It wasn't intended to knock me out. It was me dropping down to the right spot, and that knee hit me in my temple, and from there the rest is history, right?
Now, you you just went on about it, how you fought through Iron Boy and you loved it. It's a nationally acclaimed Tier 2 program. You just fought through Buff MMA, who had a lot of legendary fighters. How would you describe the fighting scene under these networks and how you felt, living through this, I guess you could say, dream now?
Oh, I mean, I think that the opportunity, the fighting, here, everything that I'm stepping into is all the right steps. I'm glad that I skipped the backyard fighting stage. I didn't have to go do any bar fights or any of those underground things. I mean, I'm going into organizations that are big, that are known. I'm putting my name out there. I'm showing that I'm an exciting guy. As something that you guys had mentioned at the last fight, I mean, I got the crowd behind me. I got people that want to see me in that cage, and I want to be in that cage. And I believe that I'm doing as much as I can to cross train as well. I've been invited to so many gyms. I used to actually train at the lab at least twice a week before I fought Rich. And yeah, I was at the lab sparring with Jared Cannonier, and then I would go to Fight Ready, and I'd go train with their guys because they're calling me, telling me, man, we want to get you in here. We want to, you're a good partner. And I'm a young guy. I mean, sometimes I'm younger than I realize because I am a father. I do have a lot of things that kind of push me to grow up a little quicker, but I'm 20 years old. I'm barely 20 years old. So I know that I have so many people to meet. I have so many coaches, I have so much stuff ahead of me, knowledge to put under my belt. But I'm a hungry guy right now, and I'm just looking for every opportunity. This knockout didn't set me back at all. If anything, I think I'm more dangerous now. Now I know, what I can take, and it's going to be a wild ride.
Now, describe, you just said you're a father, you're young. Describe how you balance MMA, your job, family, all of that all together.
Man, it is a tight schedule. It is. I get up before work every day, so I'm up every morning at about 4:30. I go run, and that's just part of my daily. Ever since I was in wrestling, basically getting up and running was part of the deal. But I get up, I go to work. My job is so supportive of my fighting. They actually sponsor. They're working on full sponsorship with my team. My coworkers love to hear about my fights, and so work is really easy. I can always get the time off I need. And then as soon as work is over, I head to my first school. I go pick up my daughter, and then I bring her with me, and we go to practice. My gym is real good about if I'm going to have her there and have her a part of it. My daughter is a natural wrestler, I swear. She's already taking me down and wrapping me up. I'm like, just screaming, yes, yes, yes. So she's going to grow up in that setting. I will say that, sacrifice is part of it, though. I'm not home nearly as much as I used to be before I started training. And, my girlfriend, she doesn't train in any way. She's not any type of martial artist, but she is understanding that this is my dream. This is, my goal. I got a lot to prove to myself. I got a lot to show that, I am one of those energetic guys. And in a couple of years, there's going to be a lot of dudes retiring. And I believe myself that the UFC is going to, call me in the future, and I'm going to be one of those guys out there. So
nice. Now, you're currently just fighting out of Arizona. A decently, sized fighting state, you could say. What would you describe the atmosphere or the vibe fighting here in Arizona?
I think we're some scrappy dudes. I think that you have to actually get into it to realize how much this state has to offer. Because before I ever did MMA, I didn't know that it was, so big here. I didn't know that there was jiu-jitsu tournaments every weekend. And, you can go to so many other gyms and be welcome. So that's, when I talk about the vibe here, I think that everybody here is really open and friendly to the training. I've been welcomed everywhere I've gone, even if it was just a day or if it was a week. But at the same time, I think there's some good scrappers here. There's huge teams out here like the Lab and Fight Ready, and I even believe my team, Proving Ground. We're coming up. We're gonna make it happen, and I believe that this state has a lot of scrappy dudes and a lot of heart. a lot of hungry people, and I think you'll expect a lot of big performers to continue to come out of Arizona in the future.
Now, what do you believe, makes you a unique fighter compared to all the other fighters in UFC?
Oh my gosh, man! I mean, I consider myself one of those, jumpy, kind of smack yourself around before the fight. I am on fight day, I'm not the same guy that I am every other day. I go out there and I'm kind of like set on the kill. I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm running these things through my head. What am I gonna do? What's gonna better me? And so when you talk about what makes me a little bit different, I mean, I'm not exactly Justin Gaethje jumping off the cage doing backflips and stuff yet, but I'm going out there vicious. That's how I feel. I'm not afraid of anybody. I mean, that's one of my best parts to my MMA right now. What makes me a little different? I truly have no fear. I wouldn't fear the biggest guy in the room. I wouldn't fear the fastest guy in the room. I wouldn't. For me, I'm willing to go across the cage from anybody. I just. I'm a new guy, so I'm continuing to learn about myself. I'm sure there's going to be some funky stuff that happens along the way. But yeah, I consider myself a semi-normal guy, but when I'm out there and when I'm in practice, I mean, I'm somebody else. When I'm in the practice room, I'm always the guy you go to when you want a hard match, and my team knows that. You don't go with that and expect it to be a quick little easy round. When I'm in practice, my coach is pairing me up with, the top guys for me to go with every single round, because I'm not there to waste time. I'm not there to have an easy practice. I'm there to get scrappy. So it's, I believe that there's a good future ahead as long as I keep that mentality.
Nice. Now, you're young. You unfortunately picked up that, fluky loss, like you said. How do you think you can prove to you and all your fans that you're the next come up fighter?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna continue to show my name. I'm gonna continue to go out there and fight. I believe that I'm always gonna have the crowd. I probably had over 100 people there believing in me, screaming for me, and I'm gonna keep that energy. I'm gonna keep growing my fans. I'm gonna keep a smile on my face. And another thing too is I'm always going to show my respect. Me and Rich, one of the things that I completely loved about this fight is me and that dude had nothing but respect for each other the whole time. And I'm going to keep that up no matter what. Now, I told myself the same thing. I said, in the weigh-ins, if somebody gets in my face, if someone does one of those crazy things that I see on TV all the time, I'm going to get right back in yours. I'm never going to back down. But me and Ridge, we kept it cool the whole time. I loved it. Right before we went out to fight, literally seconds before we walked out, we saw each other. We told each other, let's put on a show. And that's what we did. So when they say, what's going to make me keep coming, what's going to keep my fans, I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to keep being real, keep fighting because I love it, because it's what I enjoy to do. I mean, after the fight, I haven't been to practice for a few days, and it was driving me nuts, just not training, not being in my home. So I'm going to keep performing. You guys are always going to keep seeing me fight. I mean, a lot of people told me after this knockout, are you going to go back out there, or are you going to keep fighting? Of course I'm going to keep fighting. Me getting knocked out is what made me realize I am a fighter, because some people maybe after that would have said, I'm never doing that again. That was scary, because after that fight, I woke up, I'm in the hospital, and they're checking my head to see if my brain's bleeding or whatever. But I'm not walking away from the fight world. I'm even more hungry now. That drove me. I mean, I felt like I was ready to fight probably 30 minutes after I got home. It's going to keep going. I believe that, I'm so blessed to be young. I know some of these guys that are out there, I'm not sure how old Bridge is, but I believe, even most of the guys I'm going against, I'm hearing are, even at the amateur level, are 25, 26, 27 years old. I mean, I started this at 19 years old, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep building. And I believe that when when we're talking again and I'm 25 years old, I think I'm going to be a dangerous dude.
Now you sort of jumped into it, the long amateur road that comes in, boxing, MMA, all these combat sports. Compared to, like football, baseball that have the draft and everything, what makes you continue to go onto this long, hopeful journey to go pro?
Oh man, I think it's that vision, that thing for yourself. It's are you gonna, because I told myself, what am I gonna do to be the most successful? Okay, I wasn't super big in school. Not that I had bad grades, I had good grades, but I was never in love with science. I was never in love with math. I was never in love with any of that. In fact, if you knew who I was in high school, man, everyone kind of already saw this fight future ahead of me, because I was in high school, and it's not the best story, but it's the true story. I was in high school getting suspended for getting in fights, and I had lost my mother my freshman year, and it made a big difference in my life. It made me get very, very hard shelled, and so I kind of was always defending myself against everybody. It felt like. And now I'm out here doing it the right way. I'm going to practice and I'm letting all that out. It's my coping. It's my, so I believe that it's so deep in my mind that I'm going to make this happen that there's no other option. So I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep eating right. I'm obsessed with physique. I'm obsessed with training. I'm obsessed with being the best. And I really believe that this is going to take care of my family one day, regardless. I'm going to keep doing my job until the day I don't need to. I'm going to go out there and then I'm going to start fighting. And hopefully fighting is going to become my full time. And then, I'll open up a gym and I'll have my coach with me. And it's just, I have nothing but goals ahead of me. And I'm not going to stop until I get them. This is my opportunity to be huge. I was never that star football player. I was really good in track. I had multiple records at my school for, running, so I could have gone that route. But, they say there's two things that happen in a fight, right? Fight or flight. Well, I tried running. I don't like it. So I'm gonna stick to the fight.
Now, you just said, you were talking about your mom. I'm sorry about that, but it seems like family, is a big thing for you. Is family ever, inspired you or influenced you into this fighting, or ever, support you, so much that helps you keep growing and fighting?
Yeah, man, it's so hard to even explain it. It's, my family is very different. We're very separated, but we're very close. As a young guy, I've been in the group home. I was in group homes, and up until the point where I got adopted, all the way from 5th grade to high school. And so I lost, technically I hadn't seen my mom or my dad, since I was in 5th grade, but I had found out I had lost my mom freshman year. And, but my siblings, I have 7 siblings, so I'm a big family. I've always had my siblings close to me. And I believe that they support me 100%. My brother called me after the fight and is telling me, I'm so proud of you. Keep your head up. He's like, you're lucky that I didn't go jump in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, no, I don't need you to handle my business, man. But, I appreciate the love. And I have, like you said, with family being behind me, I heard such a roar when I walked down that stage. And I just know that that's my grandma, my best friend's family, who, realistically, they became my family. My best friend's dad, my best friend's mom, they basically took that role in my life as being my parents. And, they've done nothing but support me. My mom's kind of more terrified to watch me fight, but she goes there anyways and sucks it up. And, everybody just wants to see me live my happiest life. They want to see me, happy doing what I love to do. So I'm always going to have support from them. With my dad being a wrestler, I know that he loves to see me going out there and always getting takedowns. That's forever going to be my style. There's never going to be a fight where I don't get you on the ground. I don't care. I'm going to, whether it goes, 100% to the ground and ends there, or up and down, But I'm going to keep grinding you. I'm going to keep taking you down because that's my background. That's my blood. But yeah, I love what I got. I love my life. I love my daughter. My daughter's going to continue to push me in the future. I can't wait till she actually understands what's going on and she's screaming, Dad, because she's always going to know that. And I look forward to us growing up together because I'm a kid who had a kid, So we're growing up together now.
Awesome. Now, couple more questions right here. You just came off of the loss. What's the next move, or what's going to be your next fight?
I believe I'm going to be fighting by January. So I'm going to take this time to correct my stand-up. I'm going to train really, really hard, all November, all December, allow my head to completely recover. I don't want that to affect me in any way because I am in this for the long run. I'm probably going to do a few jiu-jitsu tournaments in November and December, so I'm going to keep competing for sure, but they will see me back in the cage no later than January.
Now, final question here, we're looking off into the future. You're off on the ESPN. Lights are flashing on you. What's the dream fight for Zach Stewart?
Oh, man. That's me versus Rich Harmon in the pros. I'd say my dream fight, man, is going to be a title fight. I see myself going for the title. I'd love to. Honestly, it'd be really cool for me. I want to go on Dana White Contender Series, and I want to go get my contract.
Awesome.
So right now, I'm aiming for that. I'm gonna keep working up. I'm gonna keep working up the chain. I'm gonna beat some amateurs up. I'm gonna get to that pro level. I think I'm gonna be very dangerous by then. And then when the offer comes, whether it's the Ultimate Fighter, which would be freaking awesome because I'd love to go on that show. Whether it's Dana White Contender Series, whatever option I have, I'm gonna be there. I promise you guys will see my name there.